AITA for putting my coworker in the hospital and almost killing her? For the past 3 months someone at my job has been consistently stealing my food that I bring from home so I don't have to use the snack machine or walk across the street to McDonald's like the majority of my coworkers do. In the first month, I noticed someone had been gradually taking some of my food. 1 out of 3 slices of pizza gone, 20% of my soup gone, Cheetos bag completely gone, etc. Didn't think much of it and simply decided to now attach a please don't touch paper sign on my stuff. In the second month, at start of the month, my food became untouched but progressively went back to the usual. At the beginning of the third month I asked coworkers if they had taken or knew who was taking my food and no one had a clue, which is kinda believable as most of us take our lunches separately. I decided to eat McDonald's or go to 7-Eleven and stop bringing food, but then it started fucking with my financial stability. 10 to 12 days a paycheck, 14 days, consistently buying food? I decided to take matters into my own hands. My friend told me about a reel that she saw where a girl put laxative into her own food to see who was the culprit, and that's exactly what I did. What I wasn't expecting was for the girl, late 20s, to have an allergic reaction to an ingredient and ended up going to the hospital. After work all of us went to visit her in the hospital where we all talked about what happened and admitting to putting laxative into my own food. 6/8 coworkers, all girls, were disgusted by my actions and were on her side. One girl was whatever about it and the last guy said she shouldn't have been touching my food to begin with. I told the girl that I hope she gets better and went home, but I didn't apologize for what I did and I'm not going to. Today, day off, I received a phone call from our supervisor who I spoke to about my issue between after the first month and told me she can't help me there because she's not our mom, and essentially told me I had to apologize to her or else I wouldn't be able to come back to work until I do. And I'm assuming if I take too many days I'd just be fired for not coming to work. Update number 1. Just received a text from my SV telling me the coworker doesn't need to apologize and it's up to her discretion if she chooses to apologize or not for stealing my food. Update number 2. I'm a male for those who keep referring to me as a she even though I never mentioned my gender, lol. Update number 3. Male coworker who was on my side told me the girl is going to take legal action for attempting to kill her. He overheard the girls talking today at work. Update number 4. Many of you YTA voters are forgetting the fact that my please do not touch sign never left. Even though it stopped working eventually, I still kept it there, so when she took my laxative food from my plastic bag, the sign please don't touch my food was still on it. Update number 5. My supervisor is HR. There's no one else in the HR department. Update number 6. It was pretty late last night, 4 a.m., and was talking to family members to see what my options are. Whether I should apologize and stay at my job or leave, but fuck that. I'm not apologizing. And here's a little more info about my work to give more insight. I work at a senior facility where I work as a medicine technician. My coworkers are nurses, caretakers, and front desk. The girl who stole my food is front desk. We have an obsolete no food or drinks rule outside the break room that's pretty small. We can't use the kitchen to store our food due to fear of cross-contamination. I sorta have a desk to put my stuff, but like I said, there's a rule and the HR/SV is pretty strict on that. The SV called me about an hour ago telling me she's with the girl in the hospital and now's my time to apologize or I can come in person to do it, and I said absolutely not. She kept insisting, but in a tone where I was 100% at fault, not her, who has been stealing my food for 2.5 months straight. Update number 7. Have been reading more comments with a lot of questions, so I'll answer them here so everyone can see. She's not poor. She drives a 2020 at least Lexus SUV LMAO. My supervisor is HR. Our other manager works from home and only comes once or twice a week to meet with the elderly's families. Yes, I could have spoken to him, but knowing him, as he's not around much, would tell me to reach out to the HR lady as she's in a higher position than him. I live in South California but not LA. Doctors said the allergic reaction might have been the laxative or my food, which was chicken noodle soup that I made from scratch at home the morning of. They're still running tests. She didn't go to the hospital because she was shitting herself senseless from the laxative. She went because she complained of a huge stomachache and a rash line from below her belly button to between her 2 rib cages. Shifts between employees and sometimes managers always align for those saying how we could all go to the hospital. You either work 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. or 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Update number 8. One of my coworkers is now in the hospital for the same conditions. Big stomachache and rash line down the stomach lining. Doctors are now certain it wasn't the laxative as she didn't eat my soup compared to the first girl. Update number 9. Someone from home office, HQ, is being sent down tomorrow morning to figure out what's going on as our HR has a huge shit stain on her hands. Doctors are running tests for the second girl and trying to figure out why two coworkers are having the same issues. They've HR, doctors and male coworker now ruled out my soup as the cause of all this. Update number 10. Both girls are now under quarantine and no one is allowed to visit them until the hospital clears that they're not contagious. I'm required to report to work tomorrow for a meeting between myself, HR, some of my coworkers and the home office rep. Update number 11. The home office rep just called me to inform me that I'm formally being sued tomorrow by the first girl and her husband, although she's unsure what I'm being sued for. Update number 12. Just answering some more questions about this whole situation. I contacted a family lawyer this morning, but he's currently out of town until Monday morning, so I'll be speaking to him soon. I told him the gist of what's happening, including being sued for unknown reasons until I'm served my papers. Both girls are fine. Light diarrhea and the rash seems to be going away after giving them Benadryl, Pepto and vitamins through and 4. Some people think they're on their deathbeds, although it's quite the opposite lol. From what my male coworker has told me, I wasn't the only victim of getting their food stolen by this girl. The only difference is I'm the only one calling her out on it. Update number 13. Finished my meeting with my supervisors and coworkers. The HR lady is now under investigation and has been put under temporary leave. The first girl will be fired by the end of the day, although I'm still being sued and we're still trying to figure out how they got sick. We're trying to talk to second girl on what could have happened, but she doesn't want to say anything. Update number 14. Not long after my last update, the first girl's husband was sent to the hospital and quarantined for the same symptoms as the other two. The doctors are 90% sure that whatever is causing this is transferable by bodily fluids. It makes sense for the husband to be sick in this case, but we have no idea how the second girl is sick. All three are now under quarantine. HR has been fired. First girl has been fired. HR lady is going to sue the company for psychological trauma and distress, according to my coworkers lol. Update number 15. I'm currently at work for the time being and the home office rep is in charge. For those dumb enough to ask and question how we know all this, the doctors are keeping me and the home office rep informed, as I'm still considered the starting root cause of all this. On top of that, the first girl is still gossiping to my coworkers. Do phones not exist now? Oh. Side note, I have yet to be served any papers. I've never been sued before, so I'm not sure how long this takes or if the girl has even started the process. HR only gave me a heads up yesterday that she's going to, not that she already has. Update number 16. Alright, this has been a long 2 days for me and this might be the last update, at least for now, until this whole thing blows over. I've been trying to make sense of everything that has happened lately, but now I don't know where to begin, so I'll try my best. As I said earlier, the HR lady was being investigated, and during the investigation they found out she had the same symptoms 3 weeks ago and quietly checked herself into a hospital, but is now almost fully recovered. I don't think she quarantined, as she hasn't missed work since her last vacation earlier this year. Apart from that, she also confessed to having sexual relationships with both girls in the hospital for the past 2 months, and both girls having no idea of the other's sexual relation with HR. The home office rep believes the husband got sick via the wife, as he's never stepped foot into the facility and has never met any of his wife's coworkers or supervisor. The HR lady has been arrested for knowingly spreading an infectious disease without the knowledge of the other person twice. The hospital will be contacted by the company to inform them of this incident and see what medications/treatment she was given, as HR goes to a fancier hospital, and what they're dealing with. HR has possibly dropped legal action unless they were empty threats from the beginning. Monday morning I'll be talking to my lawyer to sue the wife and rest of the 6 women for emotional distress and lying, as it seems none of this was my fault to begin with, and I'm still not going to apologize for anything. I've been standing my ground since day one. I think I'll do one more update once everyone is cleared from the hospital and everything is back to normal. Comment 1. Anyone who takes other people's food is an asshole. Doing so with allergies makes you stupid. Comment 2. She could be allergic to literally anything in food she didn't prepare. She's the one playing with her own livelihood.